माय नेम इज़ अक्षत। मैं दरभंगा बिहार से बिलोंग करता हूँ और करंटली मैं गाजियाबाद में रहता हूँ। मेरी जेई एडवांस में ऑल इंडिया रैंक 264 थी एंड राइट नाउ आई एम इन द कंप्यूटर साइंस डिपार्टमेंट एट आईआईटी दिल्ली. आई एम डूइंग माय 4 years बैचलर्स ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी डिग्री. A lot of things actually. पहले तो it started out just because science technology पसंद थी मुझे. तो initially I wanted to go to IISc. I wanted to go to the Indian Institute of Science. And then somewhere I found out that IIT will be a better choice towards the very end of my JEE preparation. And yeah, I guess last year, 1-2 months, I decided that it will be a nice opportunity for me in IIT. And computer science is something that I wanted to do. And IIT Delhi is basically the best in the country to pursue computer science, and I got that opportunity. So the basic goal was to get into an IIT, the top 5 IITs. IIT Delhi being one of the best, I got here. So thank to God for that. Both actually, दोनों का कुछ कुछ पार्ट था, and I would say most of it was self-study. At the end, आप ही को सब पढ़ना, आप ही को सब कुछ, everything you have to make sure आपके concepts clear है, make sure कि आपने practice sufficient की है. There was internet, there was everything available on the internet that I was using. There was that, and yeah, mostly that. थोड़ी सी senior से बाद, and mostly just relying on yourself, relying on just having faith on yourself. Basically, that's what my preparation was. I would say JEE preparation right now has reached a stage where most of us know क्या करना है. Internet is a very good material, and internet there are enough advices that you can follow. There are a lot of resources that you can use. So I did the standard things. I did HC Verma for physics. I did Irodov. I did the very standard books. I did NCERT, obviously, for all the subjects was there. I did the sort of the standard books that everyone knows. I just did all of that. And there was nothing special with regards to the book I did. As far as my initial days go, so initially I was not exactly preparing for JEE. So I was not in the JEE flow really. But I still had a good enough base that towards the end, even when I wanted to pivot to JEE, I could easily do that. So it was usually just standard things everyone knows about the books, and I just don't want to repeat them. It's all available on the internet. I'll start backwards. सबसे ज़्यादा valuable NCERT chemistry की है, because especially in the IOC part and organic part में, both in mains and in advance, mains में खासकर, you have questions directly from NCERT. So if you're thorough with NCERT, you sort of figure out a lot of things. That's one. Second is NCERT, even for chemistry, it's very, very useful. For physics as well, I would say it really clears some of your very theoretical concepts, especially जो 12th वाले portions है जहाँ पे it's not that fundamental. The concepts being covered are not that fundamental. These are much more like physics. There's a lot of physics involved. उस case में NCERT really clears your basic and really clears your fundamentals. So chemistry number 1 NCERT priority, physics second. Maths NCERT, I think you should do the portions that are only relevant for mains, because I distinctly remember in my mains there was a question that was on the variance of random variables, and it was binomial distribution. But just because I had not like completely gone through NCERT math at that time, I just skipped that. I ignored it. I couldn't do that one question which would have fetched like 100 in math for me. So I would say do the mains relevant portions of all the 3 subjects from NCERT, and chemistry do entirely. Like there should not be anything left in chemistry. Physics is sort of very logical in the sense कि मतलब जितने मैं अपने दोस्तों को जानता हूँ या फिर people who are here, उनका usually physics favorite subject होता था, because of the fact कि physics has limited things to remember. There is not a lot of trick involved like in math. However, as you said, there are theoretical parts, there are numerical parts. So the best way would be कि आप कोई एक textbook पकड़ें, and that will be HC Verma to start with. Do HC Verma in its entirety. That almost does like what 50% of your advanced prep is just HC Verma. And then after that, it's just about solving more and more problems. So solve advanced PYQs, solve mains PYQs might also help. There are other countries, like start with the small Olympiad problems. Physics Olympiad is at a boom in India. So like take elements of many questions, and all of these are available on the internet. So artofproblemsolving.com is one wherein you find a repository of many questions. So use that to your benefit. Otherwise, there are these problem books, all of these things which are freely available on the internet. Use them. As for the books, as I said, HC Verma to begin with. And then I would recommend you do Erudov. Erudov is a very nice book, and many concepts from Erudov routinely appear in JEE. I would say Erudov is just HC Verma, but with a bit of calculus, with a bit of more math in it. And that's what JEE kind of asks right now. So yeah, those would be the two books I would recommend. Apart from that, solve as many problems as you can. Physics is really about just solving as many problems as you can. The theory, though, like, it's not that much. सबसे पहले तो केमिस्ट्री में एनसीईआरटी इज लाइक द मोस्ट यूजफुल. सबसे पहले आपको उतना तो कर ही लेना चाहिए. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, organic was a very favorite subject of mine, which I read in great detail. उसके लिए I used to do this book called Sykes, Peter Sykes. It's a really nice book, but it's not recommended at the initial stages. First do NCERT, first do the normal things, and then move on to Sykes. Organic mein, I think the people who are good at organic really take it to be just like physics. There are a certain set of concepts that you need to know, and कुछ 4-10-15 concepts के basis पे आप JEE के organic के majority questions कर सकते हो. Like knowing the mechanisms really help in organic. As far as inorganic goes, well, बहुत सारी चीजें याद रखनी पड़ेंगी. Block chemistry is a lot to remember. There is a lot of logic involved as well in many points, but I would just agree on the fact कि काफी part रटने का है, and just practice as much as you can. Just solve as many questions as you can in IOC. क्योंकि questions करने से you will like start remembering कि किस trends के question आते हैं, and yeah, then you'll be able to figure out कि कौन से आपके weak portions है, किस में आपको ज़्यादा focus करना है. Do that in IOC. Physical chemistry is a lot like physics. It's थोड़े से theoretical, थोड़े से numerical questions. So the strategy that you have in physics, learn a bit of concepts and solve a lot of questions. That applies to physical chemistry as well. Again, NCERT goes all across. In fact, then उसके बाद IOC में, once you're done with NCERT, which is actually a lot for IOC, you move on to things like JDL is one book. In organic, you move to something like Peter Sykes, or you do some portions of Claydon. Or these are all things you do once you're through with the basic syllabus. Once you're absolutely sure that you're done with the mains part. If you can solve every mains question, then you move on to these books. And for physical chemistry, there are these problem books that are very popular. Neeraj Kumar or Vadwa. All of these books are very popular. You can refer to any one of those. Maths में तो concepts और भी कम है. It's usually about your problem solving skills. It's usually about आपने कितनी practice की है. And to be honest, many questions in JEE in math are like many, I mean like 40-50% are repeated. Like repeated in the sense that the ideas that they use come from previous years or कहीं ना कहीं ऐसी जगह जो familiar होगी. So if you have done a lot of questions, you automatically see a pattern, and then you can start solving JEE questions right away. As far as books goes, so there is like in maths, there isn't really a standard book. There are these Cengage series books which are really nice in math. And then it's a lot about just solving previous year questions. It's a lot about getting problems from anywhere and solving them. Any standard material that you find on the internet is enough for mathematics. It's about solving as many different types of problems as you can. And theory ke liye to, like, it's not a lot of theory involved in math. You just you can learn as you're solving questions. So there isn't really a lot of standard books in math. JEE में mostly सारे questions inter-topic ही होंगे. Like you mix a lot of things, you mix 3 or 4 topics और फिर उससे you figure out कोई एक नया question बना देते हैं वो लोग. Uh, the strategy for me with those types of questions has always been कि you should be good with all the chapters that are involved. At least you should know the basics of every chapter first. Once you're done with that, कि जैसे सबसे ज़्यादा math में होता है कि you have a question which has probability and they'll combine matrices and determinants and on that they'll put calculus. So if you don't know the basics of all of these 3 parts, you cannot proceed with the question. So the first thing is complete your syllabus well. The second thing is have practice in all of these individual areas. And then third thing is solve a lot of questions so that you will be like, you'll be used to having this genre of problem solving जहाँ पे बहुत सारे topics एक दूसरे से connect कर रहे हैं. तो doing that should help. And again, the key is just practice. Practice as much as you can in this case. Or again, PYQs and everything are a really great resource to like start having your like you get on that path. You start having like a continuous flow with these questions. As far as 11th का portion या फिर anything you read before is concerned, it's usually a nice idea कि week में you give one test, and by test I mean खुद से बना लो, खुद से any previous test that you have given, कोई भी ऐसा mock test दिया था, just keep that with yourself, पूरा solve करो एक और बार so that you revise it. Revise by problem solving. Don't revise by कि अब मैं बैठ के पूरी theory पढ़ूंगा, पूरा chapter पढ़ूंगा, notes बनाऊंगा, फिर करूंगा. Don't do that. That's a waste of time. Rather, revise by problem solving. जो problem नहीं हुए, go and see them. क्यों नहीं हुए, learn them, revise them, write it in a notebook or something. Giving a lot of tests will ensure that you don't forget anything because you have to retain everything for the 2 years. Everything in the 2-year syllabus, all the 3 subjects, you have to retain everything. So for that, like practice as much as you can. Just look at the questions again and again. And for different exams that are concerned, mains, advanced, boards, the boards, I think once you're through with the PCM of JEE, boards ka PCM is not tough. It's really not tough, and especially now they're also removing many chapters and everything. So it's not tough at all. That will be managed. As far as language goes, I have given the board exams in languages. I had English as my subject. So वहाँ पे it's not hard to just like 1 week before the exams, you go over all those stories, you go over the like the formats of writing paragraph and whatever comes in the exam. I'm not sure now. Whatever is there, you just know the format, you know the stories, you know everything. Just see a bit of previous year papers, board papers. So it's not hard to score a decent score, like a 90, 95 plus score. It's not that hard. And in the 5th subject, I would say, like, I have a personal bias of choosing computer science as the 5th subject because computer science is really easy. There isn't a lot to remember. There isn't a lot to do. So you can do CS as a 5th subject, or people choose physical education as well. Either of these two are really easy. Like if you just even give a week for board exams in your entire 12th, you'll be through with it with good marks. So scoring a 95% plus while preparing for JEE should not be a problem in boards. At least I think so. I didn't used to be very good with time management, honestly. And that was a problem with me. But from what I've heard from my friends, from what people who have been here, unse baat karke, I figured out that studying about 6-7 hours a day has usually been enough for many of my friends. I used to study lesser than that during JEE. But I would say there shouldn't be a strict deadline कि मतलब 2 घंटे कर लिया, मैं नहीं करूँगा. I would suggest कि pick up a topic and like, unless it's not finished, don't leave that. Obviously, you need to take into account कि जो भी periodic test दे रहे हो या फिर revision कर रहे हो, everything should be managed. But pick up a topic and try to finish it in its entirety. And usually I would say that if you are having like 3 hours to study in a day, I would say give half an hour to revision, like before previous like solving questions, and the rest of the time like like do that in proportion, give the rest of the time to learning new things. And basically, if you're not doing anything, if you're not sleeping, if you're not having any sort of recreation, give most of your time to studying. It will be really worthwhile. So yeah, sort of that'll work. Something that you can do, something you can choose to do is play some sort of like do any sort of physical activity in your breaks. I would say if you have a 20-minute break or so, just go for a walk. Some people might like computer games as well. So don't put away recreation aside. If you like doing something, if you like playing computer games, for example, once you're done studying, thoda sa take a break, play a game, play something like what makes you feel happy. And I would say do something physical, have 5 kilometers of walk every day. It'll be really helpful. Like a healthy brain resides a healthy body. Like practice that. And jo chote breaks hai, I would say just like close all your books, close your eyes, go talk with your parents, go talk with your friends. Like chote breaks, you can do that. And in the longer breaks, like do something activity that you cannot do while studying. So whether that be playing sports, whether that be, I don't know, dancing or singing music or anything, just keep in touch with your recreational activities. The sad reality is demotivate hona hi hai. Obviously, there will always be people who will be better than you. There will always be people who will be worse than you. There will be changes. There will be changes in those test marks. Usme ranking aapki fluctuate karegi. Everything will happen. In fact, there will be many national level tests. Like mere time there was KVP, there was mains, there was all these tests. Olympiads were there. Or un sab tests mein you will have a different rank. You will have a different score. You will have varied performances. In that time you will be demotivated, and it's fine, to be honest. Like it's not a worry if you're demotivated. What really matters is once you're demotivated, you don't give demotivated. Like the state of being demotivated should not receive enough of your attention. Thoda sa like think about it, what went wrong. Can you fix that mistake? Did you do a mistake that could be fixed? Did you have any conceptual errors? Did you have anything that can be changed? And if it can be changed, work on changing it. If it can be changed, if it's something like totally random, let's say you fell ill on that day, so that's not in your hand. So don't feel sad about it, and just like keep on. Like JEE PCM is very fun. If you think about it, it's really logical. It's really useful. It's really fun to do. So have fun with the subjects, and you don't only have to perform at your peak and on one day. JEE Advanced, that's it. Before that, whatever happens is just a preparation. So don't take it too seriously. Take it a bit seriously. Understand what your weak points are. Understand what your strong points are, and work on them. But don't get demotivated. Since this is something I used to be demotivated personally a lot, but now coming to college, I've realized that successes and failures just come and go by. You need to not get too affected by them. So first of all, whoever is doing self-study for JEE, all the best. And second thing is that it is a tough journey. It's tough even with coachings. It's tough even when people have humongous resources. People go to quota and whatnot. Even for them, it's hard. So obviously for self-study people, it's going to be hard. But the thing is, there is a huge community. There's a huge community on the internet who is ready to help you. There's a huge repository of questions and answers that's there for you. You can go and refer that. And there's a giant repository of video content, of material on the internet. Use all of them. And if you're self-studying, and this used to apply to me as well for a majority of my time, was that make sure that you're systematic in your preparation. Ye hota hai usually when you don't have any oversight, you do topic A and you jump to topic B without fully doing topic A completely. So make sure that A, you're doing the right topics, and B, you're doing the right topics in a good manner. Like don't skip through topics. So if you have a systematic plan with you, and this plan is, everyone knows the plan. It's not like हमें ये नहीं पता कि kinematics पहले करना है dynamics से, या फिर I need to be very good at kinematics to move to dynamics. People know that. but they still don't follow it. They feel like speed run kar denge, or like it's a sprint or something. No, it's a marathon. So be slow, be systematic, and ask for help. Ask for help online. Ask for help. Go to websites like Stack Exchange, or Quora is also has some resources. Or just ask people. Like, go and ask people like me. Ask people who have been to IITs, who have cleared JEE. Most of them will be helpful enough. They'll advise you what to do. So take help from them. Well, the first was not having a very clear objective of what to do in life. I never wanted to join an IIT initially, but it's sort of like struck to me that अगर इतने लोग कर रहे हैं तो there must be a reason. And this was towards the end of my JEE prep. So like 28th August is JEE Advanced date, and I decided that IIT will be a nice choice for me towards August start. So it was really late. The second was taking things just seriously, taking the fact that you're giving a test, you're giving a revision test, take that seriously, like, prepare for it. Don't slack off. The third is just being demotivated by your competition, that the guy X is getting more marks than me, so I don't know, I'll just give up now. This is an attitude that I had, and I would say don't have it, because in the end, I have seen many of my friends who were not doing so well before in the initial days, or even towards the end of the preparation. They scored amazing in JEE Advance. So just keep consistent. Just be happy with your own preparation. Give your best every time, and that'll be it. Like, don't worry too much. I would suggest कि, like, there are varied approaches here, but if you're disciplined enough, once your 10th gets over, so the day your 10th board exams get over, just start your preparation. And 2 years is a long enough time. 2 years is a long enough time to achieve anything. Getting a seat in IIT is no exception to it. It's not a very big deal. It's not a very humongous task to get a seat in an IIT. And 2 years is a good enough time for it. So make sure that you know things from 9th and 10th. It's not like you have a very ruined foundation and then you want to like just automatically start your JEE prep. That's maybe a bit hard. But if you have a decent enough background, if you have a decent enough like knowledge base of math and science, just start with JEE prep as soon as you enter 11th, and 2 years is enough. Well, first of all, it will be keep your eyes on the target. IITs are, and I'll speak about IIT Delhi specifically. IIT Delhi is the best place to do engineering and science in this country. Same thing holds true for other IITs as well. And for those who get demotivated by the fact that it's really hard, well, it's hard for everyone. Number one. Number two is you don't need to score full in JEE Advance. That's not what you're asked to do. And the other thing is you need to make sure that you're not demotivated at all. Like, you just need to keep learning math and science. You need to do your PCM well, and that's it. Don't think about any external factors. Things will be all right for you. Like, trust me, when JEE happens, things will be different. After your JEE result is out, after you get into an IIT, things are really good. Things are awesome. That's how I'll put it. And once you come here, like, I just want to motivate that once you come here, life is a lot better. Number one. Number two is you get an awesome peer group. You get some of the smartest people here. I have personally never have had the humility to accept that, well, I am not the smartest guy in the room, and all my friends are. And being in that peer group, learning new things, being with the best faculty in the country, I think the hard work is worth it. So just give your best every day, and you'll cherish the result. I would say once your syllabus is over for advanced, once you're through with all the syllabus, giving one test every alternate day. So like in a week, giving like 3 or 4 tests. So on Monday you give a test, and Monday ki raat mein, like Monday you give a full test, so like 6 hours test, and then Monday ki raat mein you analyze everything. So you get to know कि चलो ये चीज ठीक है, ये चीज नहीं ठीक है, ये चीज नहीं ठीक है. Tuesday you spend your time on the topics that you feel are weak. उसको किया. Then again Wednesday give a test again. So like one day of testing and analysis, one day of learning things or revising things, and then repeat that. So this is for people whose syllabus is over. If your syllabus is not over, your priority should be to like finish your syllabus to a basic level for all chapters, and then focus only on your strong chapters. If your syllabus is over to a good extent, then just do testing, revision, testing, revision, testing, revision. And if your syllabus is not over, just finish your syllabus and then focus on your strong areas. That's what I'll say for the last one. So this is again something that I was not that good at. But again, I'll say मैंने क्या किया था. So given any test, I think I used to get about 60-ish% in the advanced tests. Now these used to be harder than the advanced papers, but it came close in difficulty with the JEE 2022 paper since it was a hard paper. So JEE while test me, if you're like getting somewhere around like in a good test series, if you're getting like about 40% plus, it's a good signal that you're on the right path. Just keep on improving that, working on your strong points, figuring out what your very weak points are, bringing them to a certain level. And yeah, I mean, don't even get worried about your marks that much, because in that, like, use your marks as a tool to know where you're lacking and not as a tool of like comparing your ranks with your friends. Don't do that. Don't start predicting your ranks based on your test series marks. And yeah, just like whatever questions that you know you're doing very well, don't focus on them that much. Like periodically keep revising them, and the things that are really weak, just like learn them. Just like at least do a basic level of them in the last 1 month or so that we have. Almost मेरे को 6 महीने होने वाले हैं being in IIT, in IIT Delhi specifically. 1 semester has passed away now. In one word, it's an awesome experience. In more words, it's a journey of a lifetime, to be honest. In just 1 semester, I have learned so much about myself, number one, about technology, about how the world works, about how academia works, about what I want to do in my life. And the other thing is just being connected with the smartest people I've ever known, with the most genuinely smart, genuinely empathetic people I've ever known. I mean, IIT Delhi houses some of the best brains in the country, and this is the best tech institution, undoubtedly. And being here gives you a sense of the feeling that you're walking on the shoulders of giants. Like you're standing with a legacy that dates back 60 plus years. It dates back. It has a legacy that countries have. So it's an awesome place to be at. And campus mein, it's like every day there is something new happening. Every day there are new ideas popping through. There is for example, I have an electrical engineering course going on right now, and in that course, I have been exposed to so many different things. I've been exposed to how I can use signal waveforms, things that people study in JEE. I'm doing that practically here, and then I'm doing more advanced versions of it. And then professors will come into class. There are these beautiful lecture halls that we have our lectures in. We have these fantabulous professors who teach us in some of the best ways possible. And again, it's hard work here as well. Like, if you have been told that coming to an IIT or studying in an IIT is easy, it's not. There's enormous competition, at least until now. And maintaining a good GPA, maintaining a good presence in extracurriculars as well, balancing all of that, it really gives you a sense of being an adult. And I think in that regards, this is some of the best experience you'll ever get. And for that, I highly recommend someone joining an IIT. So IIT Delhi has a 1 month curfew in talking to seniors. So for the first month, you cannot talk to any of your seniors except some specially appointed Board of Student Welfare BSW seniors. And after that, we sort of just amalgamated into the community. So, for example, I'm a part of the quizzing club at IIT Delhi, and we quiz a lot. Like every 2 weeks or so, we have a grand quiz going on. Today only, there will be a farewell quiz for the outgoing 2023 batch. And the fact is that seniors have gone through the process that we have. They know a lot about the process, and yeah, they're just awesome. You can interact with them, and it'll be really nice to talk with them. Again, so I don't think I'll say that I had limited financial resources, but certainly I belong to the lower middle class. I belong to the lower middle class of the country. So the fact is that it is hard to have a lot of resources with you when you're in that zone. I'm not sure how I completely correlate with that idea, but I just use a lot of internet. Like I bought relatively few books. I think I would have bought like what 5 books throughout the 2 years, and most of everything that I studied was online. Every PDF, everything I did was online. So if I were to mentor someone right now, I'll just give them a library of everything that I had. Everything that I had stored digitally, I'll just give it to them. I'll just pass it on to them. Like use it. Just scour through the material. You'll be very well prepared with that itself. And if you have very limited financial resources, well, there are many people, including me. There are all my friends here who are genuinely very empathetic towards all these cases. They'll understand your case. They'll help you. Just ask for help. Don't be shy in asking for help. And yeah, help is surely available. Well, uh, this is a long journey. It's some kuch logo ke liye it will be ending very soon. 2023 JEE aspirants for 2024 and 2025. It's still a long way to go, and it's a very beautiful journey if you live through it well. Have fun along the way. Have free time. Do things that you like. Maintain good relation with your family and friends, and just enjoy physics, chemistry, math. It's genuinely one of the most beautiful things you can do. And if you have a passion for science, if you have a passion for technology, if you want to make a change in the world, if you create a dent in the tech eco space, take these 2 years as an opportunity to learn. Take these 2 years as a opportunity to build your basics very well, so that when you walk into a campus like IIT Delhi or any other IIT for that matter, you have the basic skills required so that you can upskill yourself really fast and start working on projects, start working on things that you really like to do. And for that, I think just have fun with the process, and you'll be through.